Hello and welcome back to the Curious Mind podcast. Today I have a very, very special guest on. Luke, me and him, we ended up traveling last week for a good 8 hour drive there and back to Manchester, and it was great fun. But on that, I'll let him give little introduction to himself. I know there's no easy way to go about it, mate. But yeah, whenever you're ready.
Well, like Jaden said, my name's Luke. I've been in the fitness industry game for 10 years now, coaching and training myself for 13 years, so long time. But not just that, I've been traveling the world. So recently moved to Oz in November last year, which has been a massive change in my life. Lots of things happened for me to get to that point, which I'm sure we'll probably uncover today, which I'm quite excited to talk about. And yeah, I'm very curious mind. I have a very curious mind, and this is what actually got me on the podcast when we were chatting in the car, like you just said about. I just said I'm such a curious person. That's just what kept me going. And then he was just like, "Oh, do you want to come on the podcast?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, actually." That whole journey was a podcast itself, right? So yeah, and yeah, just here to have a good time, influence as many people as I can positively, and yeah, just have fun. That's the
Yeah,
best.
no, sick. I really appreciate you obviously taking the time, and yeah, like only if we had like the fucking little mini mics just secretly recording in the background, it would have been sick. But I saw the other day, you hosted a client event. How did that go?
Oh yes, mate. Yes, honestly, that's probably one of my most favorite things to do is just get whether it's my clients or just people in a room and just chat about mindset, health, fitness, and just get people dialed in. So that was the whole point of the workshop. So, like I said, visiting family and friends from Oz, back in the UK at the moment, and I wanted to put a client event on because I hadn't seen them for a little while as well. And it's always something like special when you put an event on with your clients. So we did kind of setting up and creating fire for the rest of the year because I believe the hardest part of the year for most people is the last 4 months.
Mm,
After summer, people are on a bit of a come down from that, and then the weather starts to change. Again, if you're based in the UK, but the weather starts to change, gets darker, colder, and it gets harder. So it was very much reflecting on the first 8 months of the year, picking out the wins, looking at what worked, looking at what didn't work, looking at what frustrated us and kept us stuck, and then came up with solutions around that on how we can actually get rid of the stuff that's not working and do more of the stuff that is working to help them stay dialed in for the rest of the year and finish off the year strong and not fall into that
yeah,
that kind of cave of, oh, it's Christmas, I'm just going to not do anything. Go in with it feeling on fire.
yeah, sick. The world at the minute, like, it's obviously trending towards a lot of phones, like Zoom calls. Like, it's obviously been like this for a while. Can
Yeah,
you just explain like the importance of actually having a community and
yeah,
like a group of people to really connect with?
yeah. So having a group of people to connect with is important, and this is something that I've struggled with massively going to Oz is not knowing anyone. I went there last year to travel, and all my friends I made were all traveling as well. So no one's in that space anymore. So I've gone back, and I'm like, right, almost starting from scratch, like in terms of the social aspect of life, and trying to make friends again, and being that randomer that starts chatting to anyone in the cafe and putting myself out there, which has done me the world of good for my confidence and stuff. But it's come with its challenges of like still having to create that circle, right? So I'm currently going through both of like being fulfilled here with all my friends, my clients, my family and stuff, having that community and that social connection. And then when I go back to Oz, it's not no friends, it's just that, you know, when you get to a certain age, everyone's got their friends solidified and things like that. So it's
Mm,
very much like you're coming in like to a trying to get into a new group of friends that are already like solidified is quite difficult, right? But it's so important because it just, like I said myself, it helps with confidence. It makes sure that you keep your mind focused, and it allows you to get yourself out your comfort zone without having to spend loads of money or do something that you feel like what's the word? Do something that is almost a barrier to
mm,
you know what I mean? So like there's always a barrier to things, but having that social connection allows that barrier to come down when it
yeah.
comes to putting yourself out there. So,
You mentioned obviously you've gone through your own struggles like with your confidence and whatnot. Like obviously we've had a chat in the car too. Was there a particular moment in the past where you realized like I actually need a fucking community to thrive?
um, I think where I signed up with my coach, Paul Mort, when I was 20. And when I do his events, that is what was just like the community is just so important.
Mm.
That's what made me realize that is every time we do the events, you always come away feeling inspired, on fire, and just ready to go for more. And it just fills up your cup, right? Um, and then ever since then, I've always kind of made sure I've been taking care of my friends, like with my close friends and my family, and then just had that community with my clients because once someone puts one question in, all of a sudden people start answering, and then there's a bit of banter going. They start taking the mick at me, and it's just fun, right? So yeah, so I think that just shows the power of community, right? Because it's just a snowball effect. Once one person starts saying something, everyone else starts chiming in, and all of a sudden, you just get such a nice vibe. There's rarely ever any negative things that come out of having a community.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think on the topic of community and connection, I read a book recently called The Dose Effect by TJ Power. I'm not sure if I mentioned it to you, but essentially looks at like sort of the four chemicals that help govern our mental health. So dose standing for dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins.
Hmm.
Oxytocin is obviously responsible for helping us connect with other humans. And one thing it talks about in the book is that oxytocin cannot be released through texts. So like when you're like reading a text and whatnot, and like say someone shares a win with you, and you read it, you can't really like feel it in a way unless you like internalize it in your head. But the way we sort of oxytocin's produced in our brain is through like this chat now. Like audio is good, but in person would be even better.
Yeah,
Like, and then it's also enhanced by like physical touch or like music. There's so many different elements that play into it. But as you mentioned, like in terms of finding the right community for you, it's fucking electrifying, man. Like you can't really put a price on that feeling, and it's changed like the whole ball game for myself because obviously having a period where it was just alone, like self growth or whatnot, and being not really fitting in, but finding a place where there is sort of like minded individuals and somewhere where you actually feel like you belong, like you can be yourself, like have very little filters, like you're not like constantly worrying, oh fuck, shouldn't have said that sort of thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
man, it's beautiful.
That's kind of like where almost we met as well. So what was your breakthrough to get into a community yourself? Because I kind of approached you at IFS after seeing you on Insta, uh,
Mm.
because you just reminded me of myself when I was 18. Um, so yeah, so like, what was the pivotal point for you to get into a community that helped you grow as much as you have in the last year alone, let alone?
I think for me, mate, like I just didn't really enjoy being with myself. Like, because obviously back in 2023, like I went through the breakup. My friends I did have at the time, like we slowly didn't become friends. Like the effort wasn't reciprocated, sort of thing, and then it just fizzled out and it died. But after spending so much time alone, like in college as well, like I'd go to college, I would ride 16k, 4k there, 4k back. And that would be on my lunch break as well because I genuinely had no one to chat to because everyone had their own groups.
Mm,
And I think like that, all of that pain just essentially motivated me to fucking just say fuck it with like IFS essentially. Like IFS, actually going there, not like abandoning the ticket and then joining like communities like Social Circle. But it's just really like I know for a fact like I couldn't really stay the same. Like there was something like quite hollow within me, and that sort of just prompted me to go do something about it. Because if nothing changes, right?
that's it,
And at the end of
exactly.
the day, like
I
yeah,
believe if nothing changes, you kind of get worse because time passes still. So, like
yeah,
that's what changes, right?
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, to me that's quite scary.
It is mad, isn't it? I think about this all the time. I think about it all the time. I'm just like, if you're not doing anything, you are just progressively getting worse.
Mm,
Because, like I said, the thing that is changing and the thing that's always going is time. And if you continue to take no action at all, even to like, so for example, the people that will go to the gym, but then go and sit on their ass and do nothing else, going to the gym is just keeping them where they're at, which if they're happy with, that's fine. But most people go to the gym because they want to make progress. So
mm,
that's just in that context, but in any context, in any area of your life, if you want to make a difference
Yeah.
doing anything, it's just slowly getting worse rather than thinking that it's the same, so you're comfortable, you know?
How are you currently navigating like building the friendship element? Because you mentioned like everyone else is currently they've got their own friends, they've got that sort of solid network, you know. So how are you currently navigating that? Because I'd imagine that's quite difficult and probably something you've not experienced before.
But yeah, man, 100%. And I think I'd experienced it in ways of like building my client base in
Mm.
terms of putting myself out there and putting my content out there and making myself be seen more
Yep.
in that way. So I'm kind of doing that in the Gold Coast. By doing that, going to cafes and working. I do breathwork classes and yoga classes, so I get involved in them. And I think that's kind of one thing I need to make sure I carry on doing more of when I go back is go into more kind of just classes and things like that. I actually want to try beach volleyball. I've been saying that for ages. Just done it. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to try and join a beach volleyball social thing, which isn't too far from where I live. That'll be fun. And I think that'd be a great vibe just because it's outdoors and that's the sort of thing that I want to do more of. So yeah, so just putting myself in those situations and I think just not letting the thoughts in my head saying, "Oh, what if no one likes me?" Like,
Mm.
if no one likes me, no one likes me, but that's not going to be the case. It's just that's just a thought that I've created in my head. It's not fact, is it? So
How would you encourage someone then to sort of take action on that sort of thing? Because the lucky thing about me and you, like I'm gonna say, is that we've seen the reward from going out of our comfort zone now, like, you know, putting ourselves out there and dealing with that. But say someone hasn't experienced that yet, how would you encourage them to get over that?
it's easy just to say do it in it, but that's not a good enough answer. Like I remember when I was first putting content out and stuff, all the people that I was looking up to and that were helping me, you just got to do it. You just got to do it. I'm like, that's such shit advice, but it's not. It's
Yeah.
just what you gotta do. But in terms of how to get over it, every time you have a thought about or a negative thought about the situation you're going to do, turn it around. So if you say no one's going to like me, people are going to like me, and then find evidence to say that that's true, because there's probably been situations where you've done it before
Mm.
in your life where that's true. So you can think back to when it's actually happened, because the fact that when you go in, when we're doing something out of our comfort zone, the little voice in our head is literally making all the stuff up that's negative about it. And that's your mind catastrophizing everything, but you don't think about the opposite side. So think about the opposite side just as much, and then where your attention is going, all of a sudden that's probably going to make you feel calmer in the situation you're going into, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so for example, on Saturday, when I did my workshop for my clients, I wasn't nervous at all.
Mm.
But that's because I've done 10 years of coaching now and I've done probably about 11 or 12 speaking events. But the very first speaking event I did is was horrendous, like awful. And I'll tell you about it now. So essentially what I did was it was after a year of being qualified as a PT, I reached out to the tutor of the college where I was at and I said, "Can I come in and do a talk to the students now about what you can do as a result of the course?" The tutor loved me and was just like, "Yes, definitely." So a few weeks later, came in, didn't have a plan, didn't kind of have any slides or anything. I didn't even know what I was going to talk about really. And I got there 10 minutes early, standing outside the class waiting, and all of a sudden, all the students start coming, and I'm standing outside with the students now, and they're all fucking taller than me, like, you know, and I've just started thinking like, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm just like sweating. Everyone's looking at me. Like I've not even gone in the room yet, and I'm just like, heart's going. I'm like,
Yeah.
right, okay. And then the tutor comes up. He's like 10 minutes late. So I've been standing with these students, and they've just been like, "Who's this kid like coming in now?" I literally look like one of the kids there. And they all sit down. I get into the front, and then the tutor introduces me, and then I just freeze, mate. I start chatting, and then I freeze. I don't say anything else but the words "fuck" and "shit."
No
I
way.
tried to write a word on the board, and
Oh.
I just like completely bottled it. Um, so that first experience of public speaking was awful, but it taught me so fucking much And like I said, I've done so many now, like I don't even get fazed by them.
Yeah.
And that's gone from being extremely nervous and pretty much like crapping my pants to now just knowing exactly what I need to do to be able to feel most confident in that situation. And now, and what's coming back to the question that you asked was like, how would I help someone overcome those fears of putting themselves in that uncomfortable position? Every single time I do a speaking event, I look back at all the ones I've done, and I'm like,
Mm,
I'm fine. I'm
yeah.
literally gonna be fine. Like I might get a little bit nervous for people that perhaps I don't know that I'm doing it in front of, because that's again that's normal because they're people I don't know. But I have enough evidence now and proof that I can do public speaking and that I'm good at it and that people enjoy it and that I enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do something that's uncomfortable, make it something that you enjoy. Beach
Yeah.
volleyball for me when I go back to the Gold Coast. Keep an eye out on my socials because
Mate, I
that's
can't fucking wait. I might just fly over just for that. No,
yeah.
that's fucking brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. Particularly as well, like especially in the start of your journey, it's like the only way you're gonna really find out is by doing it. If it's
Mm.
gonna fucking bomb, and then it's like, then what sort of thing. I remember, so because I used to have a fair bit of anxiety around sort of social events too. But I read James Smith's book on how to be confident, and
Yeah,
then
listen, we ain't going this.
yeah,
Yeah, go
and
on, bro.
then fucking so basically, it's a little coffee challenge where you go into a coffee shop and you ask the barista for a discount or like a free coffee, but the thing is they genuinely cannot give you that. It's impossible because the purpose of this challenge is to get rejected, right? So I remember like I went with mum because I wanted mum to like see me do it, and we were queuing up in this line. I had loads of people back behind me, loads of people in front of me, just absolutely bottling it. I started sweating, and then like obviously as the people got like as the queue died down, got to the end, and this woman, she had like a lovely smile on her face and whatever. I was like, can I just have my caramel latte, please? But I've got a bit of a weird request. I don't know if I said, can I think I said, can I have a 10% discount? Or it was for free. And then her face fucking dropped. It went from like this smiley, like, I've never seen someone's mood switch like that. My heart dropped and it sunk. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck this. And I was like, no, I'll pay full. Let's go. Just get me out. Got my coffee, walked out. But I felt like great after, like although I just got rejected and it was
Mm.
pretty fucking harsh, but it taught me that I didn't die. So going back to that like event of it completely bombing, what did that teach you?
It taught me I need to prepare, definitely.
Yeah,
Um, and it taught me that I wanted to do more. I wanted it more. I wanted it even more because I'd sucked at it so bad. I was just like, I want to fucking do it again.
yeah,
And because that was it 2 years into PTing at that point, that year. So it was no, so that was in February, the year of 2017. And then November that year, I decided to do another one on my own. I put hired out a room in this kind of like local kind of what's the word, hospitality suite near me, and just said, look, I'm putting this on. It was free, and I had 20 people come to it. I prepared like never before. I practiced every day up until every day for the last like 2 weeks before up until the day, and then the day of I don't do any kind of practicing or anything like that. Like the morning of, I went to the gym, I had some coffee, I did a little meditation, I kept myself calm, got in, and obviously when I first started, little wobbly on the throat, had to sweat still. But I really enjoyed it. Once I got into it, I was fine. My friends came as well, and that was cool. So yeah, I've got pictures of that now, and yeah,
sick man.
there's gradual pictures of me like just doing different speaking events as I do as I go on. So it's good fun.
Sick. Yeah, I want to really make like a picture book, like across the years. So like, 2020, 2021. Like I would love to do something like that. I've
Yeah,
done
definitely.
1 year and that's it.
Yeah.
Um, when we was in that car, you, if I'm not wrong, I believe you said one of your goals is to like tell people you love them more.
Sorry, what was that? Help people.
Tell people that you love them more, like express your
Help.
gratitude for them.
Yes, gratitude. Yeah.
Why?
Why? Well, I just believe that gratitude and being grateful for things will always bring you back to now. Because this day and age, we're so distracted by everything and worried about what's coming, and anxiety's never been as high as it is now, and people have never been as much as depressed as they have now. And like how accurate those things are, I'm not going to get into it. I'm grateful enough and thankful enough. I've never suffered with depression, anxiety, of course,
Mm.
but that's situational and circumstantial, right? And I believe that if you can ask yourself, what are you grateful for? You will always think back to now. I've got goosebumps just talking about it, mate. Just thinking back to like what can you be grateful for now? And like right now, I'm sat in my brother's house because I'm visiting back to the UK, and I'm being able to do this here like is so cool. I'm grateful that you reached out to me when I said I'm coming back to meet up, and be able to do this and just create opportunities. And I think just being able to ask yourself what you're grateful for will always bring you back to the now so that you can realize that you're actually okay, and that all you need to do is just bring yourself back to the now, look at what the next step is for you for whatever situation or circumstance you're in right now.
Sick. Just a follow up question on that. Why is being in the present moment now and expressing that gratitude important to you?
To me, well, it's important to me because I have a lot to be grateful for. I've created lot of opportunities from being grateful. All the people that I've had in my life that have helped me learn to be grateful and how to express it is I'm doing them a service by continuing on, and it's just done me wonders. Like ever since I've started all this self-help stuff back when I was 20, um, I've seen the value of it. So I'm just going to keep doing it because it's helping me become a better person and
Yeah.
bringing me back to the now because that's all you have. That's
Yeah.
all. You have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What would you say that exercise in terms of expressing gratitude looks like? Because I'm someone that has struggled massively with gratitude in terms of being present, taking things for granted over the years. It's only in recent times where I've actually learned somewhat to be more appreciative of the moment, like what I actually have now. Like this is so fucking cool. Like you
Hmm.
know what I mean? This is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what does that in terms of what does expressing gratitude look like to you? How do you do it?
Before I answer that, because you've only just discovered it, I want to know what you think and how you express it.
How I think so.
Because you've just said you've only just really started to do it, so I want to see how you started with that.
So this sounds. I'm not sure if the word would be naive, but I used to be a professional gamer,
Yeah,
and I genuinely thought gaming would be a part of my life forever. And I started gaming quite late. I was only about 9 or like 10 when I started gaming. But like most people start when they're like 4 or 5. I didn't get an Xbox for years, and I gamed, and I became like a professional player. I won thousands of pounds. I built a YouTube channel off of it. I built a Twitch channel. At one point, I won one of the biggest tournaments in Europe and had like 4,500 viewers. Like I I've been on the face of Fortnite. Like you can find me there, um, and I did that for years, man. I did that for like 2022. I even had a friend group throughout that entire process, and I thought that would have lasted forever, like genuinely. And then I obviously got with my missus at the time, like I genuinely thought I had everything sorted, but then so I had the money, I had the status, I had the friends, but then I lost everything, and that's because I was starting to get way too ahead of myself. I was starting to get I became very egotistical. Like I started developing like serious entitlement. Like, I was an arsehole, like I'll be honest. Like it was rough. And then once I quit gaming, I went on to like NFTs and crypto when that boomed back in 2023, literally 2022, 2023 era. Made loads of money from that yet again, and like when you make like 1.5 grand in 5 minutes, you do think you're the dog's bollocks, like you really do. But then again, I remember seeing my bank account at like 5k, and then it went down to £730 within the space of a month. And it was egotistical because I thought, you know what, that'll go back up. Anyways, the point is, after seeing something that I thought lasts forever, like everything comes to an end. And even my most recent trip to Ibiza, like
yeah.
when I was having such a good time in Ushuaia and like with Emmeline and all of them, like we're fucking dancing. I'm like, this is so cool. But I know this moment's going to come to an end. This podcast we're doing right now, unfortunately, it's going to come to an end. Our road journey, like when we was in the moment, we just got started. Unfortunately, that's going to come to an end. But that's the very thing that allows me to be fucking present and saturate the experience fully. It's why, like, I've got, if anyone can see, like, I've got a timer, a sound timer on my forearm, because I just imagine like an invisible thing, like on around all of the experiences. So, like, all the good times will come to an end. That means you get to enjoy it right now, and I get to be grateful. Like, even with my dog, for example, like, I know his time's eventually going to come to an end in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe if not sooner, because he's broke his leg recently and he's not healed from it.
Sorry,
Like, no, it's all good.
I was thinking about having a dog.
Yeah, man. But also that vice versa, like the bad times also come to an end. Like, I thought the breakup I'd never fucking heal from it, and I'd just be like that forever for the next 70 years. Like,
It's
so
crazy, isn't it? You think about it now, it sounds ridiculous. But when you're in that moment, it's so fucking hard to see that. And I totally get it because I was there again, 2023, mate, probably the worst year of my life so far. But
mm,
at the same time, the best year because it enabled me to take action on the things that I'm doing now. And even though I lost the number one lady in my life, which was my nan, yeah, I lost the house I was living in, and I split up with the girlfriend that I was with then. Like it all led me to make the decision to fly to Australia and try see what it's like.
yeah,
So like even though that he sucked, like I certainly then got to do some pretty cool shit after that because of that. And I think,
100%.
and absolutely this is going to come to an end at some point as well, right? Being in Oz and stuff. And is that a bad thing? No, no, it's not. But it's all part of it. And I think that's what you said there. I wanted to go back to when I was first in Australia last. So I travelled Australia from January to April in 2024. And that's what made me fall in love with the Gold Coast. And I booked my flight back to the Gold Coast before booking my flight back to the UK for the summer in Europe that year. Summer. And yeah, I was walking in Manly, which is a place in Sydney. And I walked past this shop and these two people were having a conversation. And the lady just said, life is temporary and everything in life is
Mm.
temporary. And I've heard that before. It's quite a common phrase. But in that moment, I was just like, fuck me. It is, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
it's just nothing actually ever stays forever. And that comes back to the whole thing of time's always going, time is always passing. So things are always going to end, but then there's still time ahead of you. Okay, it's not guaranteed, but there is still time that's still going to pass. And it's up to you to decide to take action on the things you want to do in order to be happier in yourself, which can only comes from within. So
yeah, 100%. One thing that got me through that period as well, like this moment is not your life, it's a moment within your life and that new perspective. And it's like the one constant in the world is ironically change.
yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, so going all the way back then, like, how do you currently express gratitude at the minute? Like,
yeah. So
and what does that
how
look
I
like?
currently that was a massive tangent that wasn't it? How I currently express gratitude. So there's an app called Balance on the phone,
Mm,
and they have like little 10-minute meditations on there where you just sit every morning. I must admit I've slacked a little bit since being back here just because I've wanted to crack on with the day and stuff, but not a good enough excuse. 10 minutes, you sit there, and then it asks you one thing to be grateful for, one thing, person, event, whatever it is, and then another thing, and then another thing, and it gets you to sit and just think about those three things for 10 minutes, okay? And just the feelings that you get from just doing that. It's like a little warm feeling in your heart, and,
mm,
just brings you back to the moment this morning, and every morning, and then you can start your day. And I think if you can't make 10 minutes, I'm saying this because I've not done it, but since I've been back here, but generally consistency with that's really important for me. And if you can't make 10 minutes in the morning to sit and think about three things you're grateful for, then that's just comes down to your priorities about things, right?
mm,
Um, you know, and if I was going to suggest some of the things I think about is my health, obviously family and friends and being back here has definitely been that on my mind. Music and how I get to how music makes me feel. Well, I know everyone's different with music, but like I can't explain how connected I feel to music when a certain song comes on. It will take me back to the place where I first heard it. Or, for example, this morning there's a song that came on, or I asked Alexa to come on and play, and it took me back to when I'm cooking my breakfast in the Gold Coast. So, so it's just things like that. So yeah, so that's one way, and then I know we said about messages and doesn't necessarily hit the right thing, but I message 1 to 2 people every week, just tell them thanks for being there, why I'm grateful for them in my life, and um, it just brings it back to now, man. So
Yeah, yeah. One thing to know about Luke as well. This guy with music loves to cry,
oh,
but it's so good. Like it's
I
such a
literally told you about fucking 3 or 4 times in the first like hour of our journey that I cried, and you were just like, he's a bit of a crybaby, this guy, me.
oh, that's funny, man.
Gets me so much, so
It's
much, man.
I'll tell you what about crying though. Like it's a good like
Release.
yeah, mate. It's fucking magical. Like when you proper like actually let something out, it's a mental experience, isn't it?
And it's not even like crying as like a baby's crying. It's like just tears start coming from your eyes. You're not even
Yeah,
like, making any faces or anything, and it's just like emotion just being released. Because we all do bottle up our, not all of us, but a lot of people do bottle up their emotions, and all of a sudden they're stiff in their body and they feel rubbish and stuff. But if you can just let those emotions out, how good you feel after it is just you can't explain it enough until you actually experience that feeling yourself.
yeah. I didn't know you lost your house and like went through like an entire breakup in that process as well.
Yeah, 2023 was a tough year. So, like I said, my nan was diagnosed with cancer in 2022. She was given 6 to 9 months to live, and she was basically my mum. So my actual mum, she left my dad and the family when I was 2, and my nan only ever always lived around the corner, so she had the same house for I think it was 54 or 57 years,
Oh.
and my dad lived 2 minutes from there, so she always come round in the morning, look after us whilst my dad went to work, and she helped my dad get back on his feet once my mum left. It was my mum's mum as well, by the way, just for context. And yeah, she was there all the time. And obviously, as I grew up, she'd always taken care of me. And then obviously, it gets to a point where all of a sudden you now start taking care of your nan. Take her to the shops, take her to the doctors when she needs to go and visit her as much as possible. And I made sure of that. And when she got diagnosed in 22, um, you know, it's coming to an end,
Mm,
fortunately. So I spent as much time as I could with her. She was good for till about April time in 23, and then she just slowly started to deteriorate more and more. Like she had a great memory, but that started to go. But she could still chat and she was still there. She just couldn't really move. So like that year, I went to Ibiza, of course, and then I flew to Valencia. And my plan was to stay there for 6 to 8 weeks. But at the same time, I had to make a decision of my nan's also getting worse. So I
mm.
stayed there for 3 weeks instead. No, 2 weeks, 2 weeks in Valencia, 1 week in Spain, in Ibiza. Came back and then just spent the summer with my nan, taking her out in the garden when she wanted to go, just chilling with her, seeing her every day. And then when she passed in September, um, obviously I was upset, but I was also relieved because she wasn't in pain anymore. And it is, you do get that, but I was also relieved because I'd spent the time with her, and like I know that she was very grateful for me being there. I know that she was obviously happy that I was coming to see her all the time. So as much as it was hard, I felt really good that I did the best I could for her. Um, so yeah, so that happened. That was the hardest thing, just obviously seeing her get worse as well. And then, like I said, my house. So I was renting, and I was supposed to be moving to a new place that I had secured for 2 months. Um, and then the week before I was supposed to move in, the landlords pulled out. So they wanted their house back. So I was then obviously left with no place to go because the place I was already was currently renting had been relet to someone else. So I had to go back to my dad's. This all happened at the same time as my nan getting worse. So I
Mm.
believe I was kind of pushed in that direction to be closer to nan so I can be there for her. But it also allowed me to move my business fully online because, you know, it was an opportunity where I had no girlfriend, so I wasn't spending money on dates and stuff like that. Didn't have any outgoings because I was living back at dad's, so I just had a small amount of rent to pay. And I was like, right, if I'm going to do it now, and then see what happens. So within all of that, I still created opportunities whilst there was still a lot of struggle. So
What was well, first of all, thank you for sharing that, mate. Like,
no, man,
appreciate
appreciate it.
it. And also, like, what was your priorities each day? Like, what did that look like? Because obviously, when you're in the dumps, mate, like, you know what I mean? Thinking of like even a month ahead of time. You're like, fuck that. Like, I just, you know what I mean? So what was your priorities?
Well, it comes back to what we spoke about earlier, wasn't it? Where we just said about being in the moment, like even if it's a not so, I don't like to say bad moment, not so
Mm,
good moment. Um, there's still going to be still your responsibility to take care of how you feel. So gym was without doubt top priority for me. Getting in the gym and lifting some fucking weights. I got strong. I probably got the most jacked I've ever been, to be honest. Um, and I got a progress picture from me from a year, 2 years, so 2021 to 2023, and I was just like, fucking hell.
yeah.
But I trained hard and I took a lot of my demons out in the gym.
Mm,
Um, I remember this one time I walked into the gym and I've been crying quite a lot because I've just seen my nan and she was having a bit of a not so good day. And my mate was like, "You got hay fever?" And I was just like, "I can't talk, mate. I just need to go train." And I had a strong session, mate. Like,
mm,
yeah, and it was really, really good. So that was the top thing. But seeing my nan um, almost every day was also a priority. And then work, you know,
yeah.
my clients still needed me. I still had my business to run, and that was a priority at the end of the day. But at the same time, that helped me because I know once I've served what my clients are paying me for, like that made me feel good. So it's just constantly making sure that I'm doing things that make me feel good. And even though seeing my nan didn't make me feel good, it also made me feel good at the same time because I knew that I was doing my job as a grandson, not a job,
Yeah.
but my what's the word, privilege as a grandson. So
It's interesting because like you channeled that energy into activities that just sort of made your life better in every way, like work, gratitude, as you mentioned, like fully saturating that experience. You know, the gym as well. How come? Because obviously, an example I use is like two people will go to like a funeral. One person like will potentially go down a path of like vices, drinks, whatever. The other person, as you've done, is like walked away and used that as fuel. So how come you did that and didn't go down the other path?
yeah, 100%. I like these analogies because there's quite a few different ones you can use for the same thing. Um, and it's perception, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Mm,
It's realizing that this is going to happen no matter what. And it's your responsibility to take control of how you feel. And that is one of the only things we can control in life, right? It's taking responsibility of how you feel and not letting other things allow to take control of how you feel, which is easier said than done, and it's obviously not always the case, right? But there's certainly things you can do, and I'm grateful enough to have chosen to start the self-help stuff from such a young age that kind of it was instilled in me from when I was younger because I reached out to my coach who I've been with for nearly 10 years now. Um, Again, starting training at like 14, 15, that that teaches you things mentally as well as it trains your body physically.
mm,
And that's why I think it's so good because whilst you might not be fully aware of what it's doing for your mind, it certainly still does it in
mm,
terms of like when the gym gets tough, when there's that burn, you can choose to pussy out and stop, or you can choose to push through it. And mentally, what you're doing is you're teaching your mind to deal with hard things so you can keep pushing through. And having that instilled in me for by that point it was what 10 years, 10, 11 years at that point. So I think just all the stuff I've been doing earlier on in my life just allowed me to kind of handle that situation. Don't get me
yeah.
wrong, I still had my days where I was just like, fuck. Like, I went to see my nan. She's at the cemetery near me. Oh, what day is it today? On Sunday. I went to see her on Sunday and I was fine. I listened to music and I listened to some songs that remind me of her when I could sit down with her. I was talking to her about Australia. This song came on, and as soon as that first kind of note hit, just started crying. And again, goosebumps. I just think if you can, you're allowed to feel. You're allowed to feel, and it's not a bad thing at all. And I think it's if you can allow yourself to do that whilst knowing that it's okay and not putting pressure on yourself about things, and knowing that it's your responsibility to take control of what you can for yourself. That's what will allow you to deal with it in the way I did, rather than the vices, the booze, the drugs, everything else. So,
Was there a time in your life where you didn't allow yourself to feel certain emotions?
oh, mate, I need to think about that. Probably when I was a lot younger, but not aware of emotions. I can't remember much about my mum, I'll be honest. And if she listens to this now, um, for the record, she's on the scene and we very much talk a lot. So it's not like I don't see her or anything. Um, this is a conversation I've not had with her, and I would really like to at some point. Maybe not now because she's still got a lot going on, but and she knows that I'm there for her. We are closer now than probably ever, because one, I don't live in the country anymore, so we're actually closer, which is something we actually spoke about in that car as well. And two, because my nan passing away, my mum had to step up and look after my nan as well, so we became closer from that. So it's not like we're not close at all, but I think there must have been at some point in my life emotions where I couldn't process them, um, because I didn't understand. So, but being an adult, I think I've been very much wear my heart on my sleeve. Like, I'm allowed to be upset. I'm allowed to feel these emotions. I don't think it's a bad thing. Um, you know, I think if you look at like the energy side of things, of like masculine and feminine energy, I very much kind of I'm in tune with my feminine energy as much as masculine energy. So
Yeah. No, interesting. And was there a moment, would you say, or was it like progressive over the years where you just allowed yourself to feel them emotions where it's like, because me, I'm someone who used to bottle things up. I was like, nah, I'm not fucking talking. You like channel my energy into rage. Like that's my thing. Even now, at times I still slip into them habits. Like I will bottle things up and then I will take it out on the pads. But that to me, that's my expression at times. So yeah, was it more progressive? Did you like read anything? What did you sort of learn? I know that's a bit of a fucking mad question.
yeah, I think being again, if I go back to kind of being with Paul, um, so Paul works on five areas of your life: so fitness, focus, fitness, family, finance, and fun. So you kind of set goals in all those areas. And focus for me is obviously mindset, and I think that like just seeing how he was as he developed as a coach and as a person in his life just made me realize that it's absolutely fine
Hmm.
to be yourself, I'm trying to think if there was an actual specific moment, but I don't genuinely don't think there is. I think it was just progressively following the processes and just understanding myself more, that allowed me to be this way.
Why did you get into self-help? Like, take me back to sort of Luke at 18. Like, what's his mindset? What's his thought process? Like, why did he go down this sort of avenue?
Mm. So, Luke at 18, been training at this point for 2 years, like consistently. So I started when I was 14, but it was like on and off. It was like team work sessions where you could only use cardio for half an hour, weights for half an hour. And then when I hit 16, I was allowed to use the big boy weights. So start again on them. And by that point, training for 2 years, you're 18, you're in pretty good shape for training for 2 years. Your ego's pretty big. um, so like that was a fun time, and I started peak coaching at that point as well. And I think that was actually a good turning point for me, is becoming a PT. So I got told I promised a promotion at the gym that I worked at. So I was just a gym instructor at this point, wasn't PTing. And when the promotion came up, it was between me and another guy who worked at the gym, who was actually my one of my best mates at the time. Um, we both had to have an interview for it. Even though I got told I was promised it, he said, "You still have to interview for it, but it's yours." I was like, "Cool." Interview for it, and got told my interview was really well. Nothing wrong with the interviewing, but it was just the fact that I was only 18 and the other guy was 24. He got it over me. At that moment, it was either choose to feel sorry for myself, beat myself up, and whinge, moan, not do anything about it, or I could say fuck it and go for the PT role and like sign up to a PT course, do the PT course, and get that. So that moment in my life was very much kind of a pivotal moment for me. Um, and what was your question again? I kind of like tailored off there.
In terms of how like 18-year-old Luke got into
Yeah. So
self-help.
yeah, cool. So this was then when I was 18. And I think that moment there was then allowed me to kind of start focusing on myself a lot. I think just making the decision there to not like beat myself up and realize that that's an opportunity in a different way, allowed me to then start to look at the self-help side of things. Because again, I'd already been training by this point for a few years, and I think that lends itself to self-help. And then I was working with James Smith as well, and he introduced me to Paul.
Mm.
And Paul was running like a fitness marketing thing at that point, and I'd keep an eye on it. I'd listen to the podcast that he would do. Really funny guy. And it just helped me understand myself more. And I think when you're at that age, it's quite hard at that age to understand yourself because you don't really get exposed to much. You are still pretty fresh, right? And then once I started listening to him, he then started a program called Unstoppable Bastards. And I was on holiday in Croatia when I was getting his emails. And he was like, "Oh, we sign up today. If you don't sign up today, that's it." And I was just like, "Oh, I really want to do it, but I don't get back from Croatia until next week." So I emailed him. I was like, "Look, mate, I really want to sign up, but I'm on holiday, and I'm not going to do it until I get back." And he said, "Right, you can sign up, but you have a lot to catch up on." And I got back from holiday. It was a festival as well. It was like 7 days, so I was just absolutely ruined. But I set myself up, and I just really enjoyed learning about myself like so much then. And I just got so curious about the whole thing, like
Yeah.
just like how can I make myself better, and not from a selfish point of view, from a point of view that's going to help other people and make me a better coach, make me a better brother, a better son, a better grandson, you know, and it's just impacted everyone else in my life.
Yeah. No, that's fascinating, and it's similar to why I got into it as well. Like in terms of um, just wanting to be better, because obviously I'm still quite young, and I was influenced by various individuals. At first it was Tony Robbins, but then I found a lot of it too American-y, too way too
It's good, man.
salesy. The
It's
fucking
good.
yeah, like the whole priming shit and pumping. I'm like,
Have you listened to Paul? Have you listened to Paul talk about that?
no, no,
So
not
Paul
yet.
did it. So he listened to this recording from Tony Robbins, and he'd be walking around like the fields of wherever he lived, and he'd be like, "All I need is a little-" just talking about that, and it was fucking hilarious, mate. And I remember that story so well. It's so funny.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's definitely for a certain taste of people, I'll tell you that. Like at first I was really into it, like I was like, this is fucking sick. Then I got influenced by like Andrew Tate and whatnot. Like that fucking took me one whole way down another spectrum. That fueled the ego.
yeah,
Um,
I can imagine.
but yeah, and then from there, like yeah, it was when everything sort of collapsed for me. Like it's interesting when your expectations weren't met by that employer. You obviously had a choice, like to go down the PTM route sort of thing, and it's like similar for me where the sort of relationship, the career, everything didn't really work out the same, and then yeah, it came from a place of like wanting to be better for those around me because again I just didn't like who I was sort of
Mm,
thing.
yeah.
That was that. Um,
I
but
do think, like, I do think this is a bit hippie, but I do think everything happens for a reason.
mm,
Um, you know, like me losing, like the example I'll give is something I've already spoken about. Me losing my house and move back to my dad's when my family needed to be a tight knit at that time because we've my auntie died in 2020, but we've never lost someone like that in the family. So it was like the first big loss of the whole family. So like that happening, even though it seemed so rubbish at the time, was probably a blessing in disguise. And the same with you yourself, like when you said you had that low point and we spoke about your obviously your ex and yourself splitting up, that sounded like quite a pivotal moment for you as well. Um, and when you said you didn't like yourself at that time. You know, was that at the same time as if you don't mind me talking about
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, go for it.
split when you were split up with your ex?
Y-
Um,
Yeah, so
time because there's always something that happens that causes you to take an action, right?
yeah, so the thing I refer to is like when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. And it's
Yeah,
like me, I just remember like I was in my room, Um, it was like February in 2023, and it was like I just sat here, and then we split up over text, like just such a jarring thing. But this was the second breakup because we got back together. I essentially got my self worth crushed, mate. Like getting back to don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
That is not. Yeah, it's a shit show. So yeah, so that happened. Then I was just chasing for a month, mate. Like just throwing money, like whatever for sort of validation and whatnot. And then it just fucking it bombed in my face. And then she just chose someone else, like right in front of me. Like went around their house. I was like, damn, like 18 months, whatever. So that was a bit of a kick in the throat. And then I was just like, I looked at myself and the actions I did, like in terms of just begging to get back, and it's just like I was
Mm.
like, fucking hell. I'm also like quite an arsehole. Like at college, didn't really speak to her. I'm just like, I do not like who I am. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? This is fucking shit.
So
Like,
that had to happen in order for you to get to where you are now.
yeah,
And you'll look back at it in 5, 10 years time and be like, thank fuck.
yeah. That
Yeah,
that is the beauty of it though, because like there's another good quote from Ryan Holiday, by the way, is like my fucking favorite man. Like
yeah.
he's helped me through. Have you read any of his books?
Oh, do you know what? One of them's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't fucking remember the name of it. But I know,
Yeah. So
yeah,
he's done loads. He's a big like stoicism guy, but he's like, I'm gonna butcher this quote, but isn't it funny that with the passage of time, all of these so-called bad moments end up becoming a blessing?
yeah, yeah. So it's like when they're happening, you don't know why they're happening, but when you look back, you can connect all the dots up,
Mm.
and like look at it, and it's exactly like what we've been speaking about for the last kind of like 15, 20 minutes, really.
Yeah. It's such a fascinating thing, and I would recommend. Like, have you got any books that you'd recommend? I would recommend The Obstacle Is the Way, and Somebody Should Have
That's the
Told
one I was
Us
thinking of. The
by
obstacle today, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I think for me, I read Peak Performance.
Mm.
So it's not about being the best at everything. It's just about you being able to perform the best for you. And it's just really nice. They've got some really good concepts in there about making you become more efficient, more productive, and really, really good for the mind as well. For example, sleep is a massive part of that book. I could bang on about sleep for ages. But one thing they say is just sleep. Your bed is for naps, sex, and reading, and that's it. Like that's all it is. So like I refuse to have a TV in my room now. When I was at my dad's, I had it because it's at my dad's. But when I've had my own space, I've never had a TV in my room.
Mm.
My mate, when we got our apartment in the Gold Coast, my mate was like, "You can choose the room," and I was like, "There was a room with a TV in and a bigger bed and more space, or there was a slightly smaller room with two single beds." And the balcony, and I was like, I want the balcony. I'd rather be outside rather than watching TV. So I chose the balcony with two single beds, but I pushed the beds together, so it's like a big bed now. Yeah, yeah. So that was kind of like that's kind of one rule I live by from that book, and it's just in when you fix your sleep, it fixes everything. Well, not everything, but a lot of things. So
Talk to me a little bit more about sleep.
right, what do you want to know? What do you want to know?
Oh man, because it's one of them things like it fucking if you I asked the question like if you want to make someone's day a living hell, what's the first thing you'd do? First of all, don't think of that. Second of all, it's like you'd knock like sleep, right? You'd put someone on 2 hours sleep because you can change someone's diet, you can change someone's stress levels, you can change if they exercise, you can change if they go for a walk. But the one thing that will determine if they're fucking miserable or not is like sleep.
And your ability to stick to all of those things you just said about sleep, all those things you spoke about, so nutrition, training, steps, everything else, your sleep will choose whether that's easier or harder, really. And
Mm,
we've all had a really nice, good sleep and felt fucking incredible, and then shortly after we've had a poor sleep and felt awful and everything's worse.
yeah.
You're more confident when you sleep, and it's just mad, isn't it? And it just has a knock-on effect. So in terms of sleep, if we're going to talk about things to improve it, like I said, try not to kind of be on your phone or watch TV in bed. um, Blue blocker glasses I definitely recommend getting. Even if it's a placebo, it's still going to work. It's still going to have an impact on your sleep. When I say better sleep, I don't mean more sleep, unless you're sleeping like 3 hours in the end, obviously
Mm,
more. But like, if I say better sleep, I'm talking about the quality of it. What can we do to improve the quality of your sleep? So sometimes going to bed earlier isn't good enough because if you're not tired, you're just going to lay there feeling frustrated, and then you're not going to sleep for ages. Whereas if you chose to go to bed at the same time, but you've come off your phone an hour earlier and you've read a book or listened to a podcast, or you've put the blue blockers on or whatever it is, that's going to have a more positive impact on your sleep. So it's more about the quality of the sleep. Once you get, like, obviously if you're getting like I said, 3 or 4 hours, that's probably not good enough. You need more. But if you're already getting 6, 7, 8, then it's then like, okay, so now it's looking at the quality of it. Because if you still get 6, but you get good quality, like, you're probably going to be functioning pretty well there. Um, so that's what I would suggest mostly for that. Again, I know that's situational, if you're parents or you've got kids or whatever, it's very, very different. But there's still things you can do that are still going to influence it, right?
How do you measure sort of good quality sleep?
Obviously, you've got all the things like the trackers. I don't know
Mm.
how good they are. I personally don't track it, to be honest. I just make sure I do what I need to put myself in a position where my sleep is going to be good. And don't get me wrong, there's still times where it's shit. But if I'm using my blue blockers, I'm stopping caffeine after 12, I'm not going on my phone just before bed, I'm making sure that I've got like a relaxed environment, like an hour before bed or half an hour before bed. All of those things for me know and put me in peak state for having a good sleep.
Yeah, yeah. On that then, have you got any particular bad stories from where you've had shit sleep and it's
You know what I'm going to talk about. All right. There's probably quite a few to be fair. As you've probably discovered throughout this talk, I love music. I love music festivals. I love Ibiza. I've been 8 times. I've got a tattoo on my ass.
That one's recent as well.
That was recent. That was literally a few weeks ago. Um, Now, this is like 2 weeks ago on the Wednesday in Ibiza. Dom Dollar's playing at High, and he's one of my favorite DJs. I saw him last year, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to see him again." And I'm flying back to the UK Thursday morning, 9 a.m. So I either decide to only see a little bit of Dom Dollar, or I see the whole set. And when you're in Ibiza, it's like when in Rome, right? So stay up the whole night, didn't sleep, and I went straight from the club to the apartment, had a shower, grabbed a quick bite to eat, and then straight to the airport. Um, and I was beyond tired, like to the point where you don't even know what's going on. Like, I'm just like, get to the airport, I drop my bag off, I make sure I got my boarding pass, I got my passport and everything I need, and then I'm just sat. I got a Subway, foot long meatball marinara, went down a tree after 10 hours of dancing, and then literally I was like, make it to the plane. You can sleep on the plane. That plane journey went like that, so I must have
Sick.
slept. um, got off the plane, and then yeah, got to the car hire place, and the guy was just like, "Oh, do you want this car or this car?" I was like, "Mate, I've not slept. All right, don't care what car, just give me a car so I can get home." Granted, I probably should not have driven home, but I did. So yeah, so that was probably the one of the most recent times of not sleeping and feeling the effects of it. I went to bed at 7 p.m. that night on Thursday, and I slept right through till 6 a.m. the next morning. So it
Fucking hell, I bet that was the best sleep of your life, mate.
was the best sleep of my life. And do you know what? Flying from Australia to Ibiza, not getting jet lag because you're doing the partying, best way to go. Anyone that wants to do that flight, go to Ibiza on the
Yeah,
Wednesday, stop off.
yeah, sick. I found it particularly funny when they wanted to give you the golf. Well, you wanted the golf, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to go far, and then he was like, "It's not ready." I was like, "Well, why tell me it's there?"
It was
Like,
like, fuck off, give me the
Kia,
like
Kia
big.
Sportage,
Yeah, there you go.
Admobile.
Yeah, no, it's sleep is so fucking important. There's times where I used to wonder why. I look back at my sort of esports performance at times, and some days I would question why I would play shit. And like, mate, I fucking went to bed at 11 a.m.
Jesus.
Mate,
Well,
you
it's
know
not
what
good.
I mean? There's some. Yeah, go on.
The thing is, when you're young, when you are younger, you are able to get away with it more, 100%, 100%. But I think it still creates bad habits if you think that way, right? And I
Yeah,
think if you can create some good habits around sleep, like I've already spoken about, and realize what it does for your body, not just for what you do day to day, but for your body in terms of regulating your hormones, making sure that it regulates your mind and stuff. You know, half the people's problems with regards to being able to stay consistent or do things like for a longer period of time comes down to the ability. their mindset, and that comes down to their lack of sleep or their
Mm.
quality of sleep, right? So just being able to realize that it's not just what it does just for the body, it's actually impacting pretty much everything else you do in your life. If there's one thing you could improve on that's going to have a knock-on effect to everything else, is that.
Yeah, it's like even sleeping, like the actual process of sleeping, like it reduces your eating window, influences your hunger hormones, as you know, like fucking ghrelin and leptin, mood,
Yeah.
attitudes, how you
And
are
then will
as,
influence your ability to stick to your diet if you're looking to lose weight, right?
yeah, like it's just a fucking shit show. Like when I went to Ibiza, like just over about 2 months ago today-ish, I think it was. Um, oh my god, it actually is like 2 months ago. Yeah, so I woke up, right? Obviously, alcohol was an influence, right? Had way too many Long Islands, 2 shots, fucking vodka cut. I'm like, I don't know my limit yet. I'm still exploring, you know what I mean? And
Find that out, mate. Yeah, yeah.
then went amnesia, and yeah, I just remember fucking waking up because it's so bright in the morning. It's so bright. So got back in very late. I just fucking stumbled over to the toilet, mate. I just wanted to be sick, fucking shit myself, head spinning. I was like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? But then you don't even like the only thing I remember like just craving like fucking greens, like just nutrients. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
You do, especially when you're at Ibiza as well. Your body just is, especially if you're doing the party side, you do just get sapped of everything, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to get people to appreciate Ibiza more.
Mm.
Like I know it's the place that's commonly known as like fucking drugs, drink, all of that. Like, but man, is it one of the most beautiful places? Even like some of the scenery areas, like the beaches,
Hmm.
um, but places even like Ushuaia.
Yeah. This is the thing, man. Like, I think it is seen as the party place, which, yeah, you're absolutely right. It is if you want to do that. But if you don't want to do that, there's still plenty of stuff to do. And I've still not done half of that stuff because I do go for most of the party stuff. But, once I get a missus, it's actually funny enough. I did have it booked for the nice stuff, but that was during when COVID happened, and then
Oh shit.
me and that girlfriend split up, so we didn't do it. I ended up going for the party thing anyway. But like, if you want to do it for the nice side of things, the scenic stuff, the nice meals, to be able to go on a boat and like go around the islands that are close by it or whatever, you know, it certainly is a beautiful place to do that. So yeah, so it's.
There's so much to do. There is like a fair bit to do. But could your flight got cancelled and I was meant to go Australia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like years ago, me and mum, or mum predominantly, like she saved up loads of money, and
Yeah.
then I think like 3 grand or whatnot, and then we obviously paid for it, had the deposit down, and they just took all the money.
No, did you not get a voucher?
Nah, like
Sick,
because
man.
they just shut down the company as well. The company's out of business
Jesus,
too. So
really?
yeah, fucking
Yeah.
lost that completely.
Mad, didn't it? COVID fucked everyone up, didn't it? But like
Yeah.
that, I had a voucher for the hotel for Ibiza. So when we booked it, and then I said to my ex, I was like, "Do you want the voucher for Ibiza?" And she's like, "No, you can have it." I was like, "Okay." Mate, I was like,
Yeah.
"Fancy going on this? Fancy going to Ibiza this year? I got a voucher for a hotel." And he was like, "Yeah, go on then." We had the most romantic room.
Fucking
It was me
mad.
and my mate. We had like
Nah.
sunset balcony. It was great. But yeah, that's funny.
Have you been to Cafe Mambo?
Yeah, Cafe Mambo's. Yeah, yeah, I love it, mate.
Unreal, mate,
You know
innit?
what? I do like it, but it's so commercialized now. Like, it's
It's
like,
very pricey.
yeah, I wouldn't eat there, mate. It's just, you're paying for the view, you're not paying for food. I'd rather go and pay for somewhere for the food. I'd rather eat
Yeah.
a bit more inland and then go to the sunset after.
Yeah.
Um, it's like what would you do here? Would you, when you go to a restaurant and you go for the food, would you go for a dessert there, or would you go to a specific dessert place where you can get
Specific dessert place,
100%?
100. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Especially, I want a place that specializes in desserts.
Yeah.
So like when they're like, "Oh, do you want the dessert menu?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to Creams, mate. I'm going to get a waffle from Creams or Treats, you know." Yeah, I can't stand getting a dessert from the menu because there's just like a little shitty brownie. I'm just
Oh, it's fucking
what's that?
frozen, isn't it? Like as well. Like I remember I used to work for, so I used to be a waiter. I
Yeah,
used to be a waiter, and there's a restaurant over the road called Baja Mexicali, and
yeah,
man, like they do good food, but everything's fucking frozen. Like the churros are literally like frozen and stored. But they
yeah,
taste
mate.
nice, but like it's not fresh. Like mate, there's this one ice cream place in Ibiza too. It's near the castle. I don't know
Okay,
the,
yeah, yeah.
I think it's
I've not been to that
Vivi's.
yet. Yeah, I've not been to that bit. No.
Mate, I need to take you. The fucking,
Mate,
it's
Il
good.
Punto in Boston. In Boston, there's a place called Il Punto,
Yeah,
and that, mate, is the best ice cream, the best coffee. Like,
fair
it's just
play.
every day we go there and get like free scoops.
Oh, bro, I'm right. What's your
Are you?
go-to scoops?
Oh, okay, so pistachio,
Top man.
chocolate, and cookies.
Fucking sweet.
Man,
Yeah.
that combo, so good.
I
Um, Another question on this:
go on.
cup or cone?
You're judging me right now for thinking about it. Honest.
I'm a gelato connoisseur, man.
Yeah, no, to be fair, mate, to be fair, I am a cone type of guy, but recently I have been going for more tubs. But
Yeah, cup
like,
definitely. It's just so messy on a cone. You've got like a time frame to eat that in. Don't get me wrong, the
yeah.
cup you want to do as well, but the cone, once it starts going down, man, you
Oh,
got the
mate, it's
window.
raps. It
No.
is fucking raps. No, that's funny that. On the topic of like going to like these proper places, man, if you've got fucking cravings, by the way, don't go to like unless you really fancy McDonald's. Like if you've got cravings and you want to take away, fucking do it right. You know what I mean? Like if you want a burger, go fucking Five Guys. Like if you want a donut, go somewhere where they really do it well. Like if you want I don't fucking know, like pizza. Like if you fancy a Domino's, go for that. But like or a Papa John's. I'm yet to try that. Not sure how that is. But yeah, it's just
Yeah,
like
I mean, I want a wood-fired oven pizza if I want pizza, man. Can't be doing
man.
it.
Have you been Rome?
Yeah, I've been to Rome.
Have you had the wood fucking fire pieces over there? Insane, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you know, in New Year's Eve, in Rome, they don't do the pizzas. They don't cook them.
Really?
They want people in and out. They don't want people there for long, so they don't cook pizzas.
Oh
I went there.
fuck.
I went there in year, I can't remember what year, 2019 maybe. And yeah, went for to get a really nice pizza, and they were like, "No, we're not cooking pizzas." I was like, "What? So, you're in Italy, and you're not cooking pizzas?" Like, I don't know whether that's like
That's
universal,
fucking
like in
mad.
Italy or like Rome, but in the center, like especially, they just want people in and out to get more money, really.
Yeah.
So
No, there was this one pizza in Rome I had. It was anchovies, an egg, tomatoes, onions, and no cheese.
yeah.
That was disgusting.
That
That
sounds
was
good.
really
I mean,
bad.
I'm just like a meat sort of person on pizza, to be honest.
Just go for a staple in it. Don't get
Yeah,
fancy with
if I
it.
want veggies, I'm just gonna have veggies another time. I'm a pizza. Why would I want veggies on my pizza, you know?
Yeah,
Just give me the
yeah.
meat, give me the protein, and then yeah,
Oh man, Rome's a beautiful place.
yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? Yeah. What's your favorite part?
I think a lot of the history side of things, like we got a guided tour. Like I would recommend a guided tour to anyone because it's so fascinating. Like we went to the human. It sounds mad. I can't believe the human crypt is a real fucking thing that you can see. It's mad. But yeah, we got essentially a guided tour about the whole history of that, and then like we went to like the statue of Marcus Aurelius. Turns out it's not actually him. Like the Trevi fountains where they came from. Did you know on actually one of the Trevi fountains, if you look at all the windows, one's actually painted on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one's painted
Interesting.
on in the top right corner because someone got locked in there.
Really? Fucking
Yeah,
hell.
I forgot why they got locked in there, but essentially, like I think
Ain't it
they
mad that they know this?
yeah
Like,
it's fully painted on. Like once you see it, you can't unsee it, sort of thing. And yeah, like they got locked, and that room's not been open for the last 400 years.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Sounds like
I think they
yeah,
got caught like cheating or something. It was like some sort of like
he's in
bad
the past,
crime,
but
mate. Yeah,
still
fucking
in the
back
past.
then as well. Um, there's also, do you know Piazza? It's like that long strip, like with the it's
Is it where
Piazza.
the shops are?
Yeah.
I know what you're on about. Yeah.
It's fucking huge. But there's actually a face in a wall.
Is there?
There's a little clay
I
face in a
feel like
wall.
I might have seen that one.
Yeah, and it's like basically the innkeeper. Like he was a really nice guy, but he was like obviously slagging off the Pope at the time, and he got killed the next day. And they did that because it was always a way to sort of like he was protecting his place, like in
Yeah.
sort of service and memory. But yeah, man, it's a fucking beautiful place of history.
Yeah,
But
it's insane, isn't it? So
yeah,
many nice places, man.
yeah.
So many nice places to go.
On that, we'll start to round it off. Where's your sort of top three places to go?
Oh, Valencia in Spain. If we're not talking about Ibiza, Valencia in Spain. Um, I think that's special to me because that was the first place I went to on a solo trip.
Yep.
And I did that was a big like moment in my life where I just kind of turned a corner from breaking up with my first proper girlfriend for 5 years and stuff. And that's it's a beautiful city. There's so much there. Like obviously city and beach. The beach is massive as well. Like it goes on for
Fuck
ages.
off,
Like, I
really?
live in the Gold Coast, and that's obviously a massive beach. But like this is like it's like girthy and long. Beach that is a beach.
Mad.
Um, and then that's a
I-
good hook for a reel, by the way. If you
I'm
want
gonna clip that later and just be like, take it well out of
that.
context, mate.
Um, and then Croatia split. I've done like 7 times. But I go to a festival there. Well, not anymore, but I've done it a couple of times, 4 times. Um, called in Tisno, called Defected Croatia. That's lovely. But all of Croatia, mate, the whole coastline is just beautiful.
Mm,
And then obviously I live on the Gold Coast, so I'm going to be biased. Gold
yeah,
Coast, but like again, it's just massive. It's just like a really, really long beach the whole way down, and the skyline's amazing. The water's just crystal clear blue. Been a bit ruined by the cyclone we had back in March, but it's just a beautiful place, mate. Honestly, just there's so much there, and yeah, like if anyone ever has any inkling or thought about going to Oz, try to make it happen. Like, yeah, it's a long flight or whatever, but it's worth it, 100%.
yeah. I think it's so important to choose a regret you can live with.
Mm.
Like, you know what I
Yeah, that was
mean?
a really interesting chat we had about that, to be honest. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, like honestly, just don't die with sort of like any regret sort of thing. Obviously, there's only so much you can minimize that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Choose the regrets that you want to live with.
yeah. I just had a look at some of the beaches in Valencia. It looks mad,
Really nice,
fucking
mate,
mad.
honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah, Valencia's a lovely place, man. Like I said, they've got the city, Old Town, beach, they've got everything. And
yeah,
I think there's mountains there as well, mate. Like
yeah.
I got some lovely pictures of me like in this waterfall and stuff.
Sick,
We
bro.
sort of like photobombed these guys' wedding photos.
Oh God.
Funny actually. Felt bad after, but
Yeah, yeah,
but yeah, so that's cool. And they're like really friendly in terms of like trying to speak the language. So I've been learning because I wanted to live there. I was learning the language,
yeah. Mm,
and they helped me quite a lot. Whereas like people in like Barcelona and stuff, obviously it's different dialects there. They weren't as friendly. So like Valencia are really friendly and paella.
yeah. Oh, mate. Oh,
Gotta
it
really
fucking so good.
you gotta get it in there, man. It's where
Okay,
it's made from. So even
that's
more
on the bucket list, mate. That's on the bucket list. But
go, mate. Yeah, yeah.
sick. Yeah, gonna round off the podcast here. Mate, it feels like we only scratched the surface with today's chat. You
Yeah,
know
it's
what I
because we had
mean?
that 8 hour chat before. Yeah,
Yeah, no, like there's still so much I want to sort of talk about. So I'm gonna have to get you on in the future at some point as well.
yeah.
Because, mate, like again, you're a fucking gem of a human
Same to you, mate.
knowledge. So yeah, man, where can people sort of stay up to date with yourself?
Luke Randall Fitness on Instagram is my main channel, and then if you go onto my profile, there's like a link where you can sign up to my emails, and that's almost like a little diary for me. Like I'll
Mm,
write down things that happen in my life and show you the lessons I get from it, so that it may resonate with you in some way, shape, or form for where you're at in your life. And I make it fun, make it funny, and help you kind of just with the consistency side of your fitness and your health. And when I talk about health and fitness, it's not just about weight and managing your weight. It's about everything,
holistic.
all areas of your life. So
Yeah, sick. I'm signing up to the email list soon.
do it.
That's a new subscriber. I can't wait.
Yeah.
And when you're fucking, I don't know, selling out more events, I'll be the first customer.
Oh mate, I'm definitely going to be coming back and doing more. So yeah,
But yeah, sick, man. Thank you for coming on.
awesome, mate.
And yeah, sweet.
Peace out.